I'm curious. Does anyone here watching want to share how they came to be an adoptee? How did you come to join your family? Here's a few of the stories that I've heard. Joe. I was adopted from birth. Sarah. I was also, but it took a while before I was placed. Lynn. I was brought over from China by an agency before I was placed up for adoption. Michael. I came from foster care. I was 4 when I was adopted. Jason. I came from foster care also, but I was 12 when I was finally adopted by a family. Cynthia. I was a war refugee. I was brought to this country by an aid organization to be adopted. It took a while before I was finally placed with a family who adopted me after a few years. Sharon. My mother didn't want me, so she gave me up for adoption when I was a few weeks old. There are so many paths to becoming an adoptee. All are valid, as is the views each adoptee has of their experiences and viewpoints on adoption. But there is also a truth we all must accept. No viewpoint can be allowed to invalidate someone else's truth. In the world that is adoption, there are so many different camps, all revolving around the different viewpoints people have of adoption. Some are positive and some are not. All are valid, and all need to be respected if we are ever going to come together to help those who do fall through the cracks. And so with that said, let us begin to listen to one another. Let us begin to understand that we all have something valuable to bring to this discussion. Let us begin to understand that we are all an adoptee. And through learning from adoptions that worked, we can advocate for those whose adoptions failed. We may also be a birth parent, a foster parent, adoptive parent, a sibling, a friend, or an ally. Regardless of where you stand on any particular issue, know this: you are not alone. There are others who feel as you do. There are others who have walked in your shoes. And most importantly, there are others who want to walk beside you, hand in hand, as we all journey through this thing called adoption together.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening all, it's Bear here. And I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel, The Box With No Lid. A channel I'm creating not just to bring the awareness around the lived reality, the world that is adoption and foster care, and the world that is trauma. But I really want to bring forward my own experiences and my own journey as an adoptee, as well as my many years as an advocate and a practitioner. And what I've learned along the way, with the simple hope that it can open doors of conversation and understanding that will be supportive and helpful for all of you guys in your own journeys, in your own life, and in your own healing, as well as bring the awareness to the world to try to create some of the changes that are so drastically needed in the world that is adoption and the world that is foster care. Now, you may have noticed that I've created a new little format for these videos where I'm adding a claymation. And in this video, I really do want to emphasize, because a lot of the videos I've made, I understand they are very easily perceived that I am totally against adoption. Now, I have many issues around adoption because there are so many areas that are ignored. But I also want to convey that there are so many different paths to becoming adopted. And some adoptions do work. And I don't want to, make those that have had successful adoptions, that are happy with their lives and the lives they have with their adoptive family, I don't want to dismiss you. And I don't want to invalidate your experiences. I actually want you guys to come forward because we need you. Through the experiences of those who have a very true positive adoption experience, all the experiences that created the positive nature of your adoption, what helps you move through all that adoption changes and does, the process of removal and placement, and all the different obstacles that are placed when we're being raised by a non-biological family. The path to healing that, the recognition of what modalities will work, and the therapies that will be so supportive are all hidden within those experiences that you have. And one of the challenges that I had in all the years of advocacy I've had around this and Senate inquiries and all these meetings and discussions and everything I've had over the years is the two sides, well, there's multitudes of sides within adoption, but for one of a simple analogy, the two sides of those that are for adoption and those that are against, the clash tears apart the discussions we all need to have to be able to create the changes for those adoptions that do fail. And the understandings of how to work with and heal when an adoption fails are contained within the experiences of adoptions that didn't. Because it shows what steps are needed, what emotional goals are needed, what achievements are needed. And those guide the therapies, the interventions, and the experiences we need to have to be able to get to a place of being positive in our lives and more engaging and connected to those around us. I really want to get this through is all my years as a practitioner and the way I've approached resolving trauma on every level. It's looking at those who are on the other side of it, that have resolved it in the various degrees of success, and seeing what worked. It's not reading through and tearing apart, therapies and modalities, or doing this trial area that happens all the time. It's looking at what actually worked. And using that as a guide to going, well, these therapies can fulfill that. These experiences can fulfill that part. And how we can create an ecology that will actually support the majority of people, the ones that have gone through the most as a priority, to get to a better place. And in the world that is adoption, in the world that is foster care, those that have achieved great success, what supported you to get there is key to that understanding. And those of us who've had failed adoptions and those who have suffered at the cost of foster care and what it takes from people, we can learn from you. But we need you to be honest, and we need you to not see our explanations of what we've experienced as a threat, but as an opportunity to where we can start to open dialogues and go, well, okay, this helps you get to where you are happy and successful and connected and part of. Let's break that down into manageable steps and go, well, these are the resources we need to help those that didn't have those experiences get to the similar place where you are, and work together. There are so many areas within the reality that is adoption and foster care that need work. It fails more than most. And those that have, as I said, those that have success, you hold the pieces of the puzzle we need to understand so that we can make those changes and bring those into the areas where the cracks are. Like I said in the little claymation in the beginning, there are so many paths to placement. There are so many different experiences. And in my view, and as I've said in countless videos, every person's experience is unique. And every person's experience is just as valid as everyone else's. And in the comments, please don't invalidate anybody else's, and please don't feel that your perspective is invalidated in any way either. We all have value of this, and we all have a part to play. But we must also understand that through the nature of survival states, through the nature of trauma, through the nature created by experiences that children should never have to deal with, the competitiveness of trauma, the competitiveness of mindsets are very, very real and very, very present. And other people's perspectives naturally are a threat to that. But if we bring that awareness, and we can see that it's just discussions, they're not changing anything that we feel, and we're not changing theirs, we're just putting and sharing stories and information, we can start to create the language and the conversations that I've said in lots of videos, the conversations that are so badly needed. I really hope you guys like the new format, and I really hope the guys understand where I'm coming from with these videos. As always, I love you guys' comments and feedback. I would love it if you smash the like button and the subscribe button. And please be mindful, please be safe, and please be respectful. And I will see you all next time.